This is Lori of Lori's Happy Stamps, and today we're talking about Painted Petals, July 2024 Paper Pumpkin Alternatives. And I have to tell you, I loved this kit. It was so hard for me to do something out of the box because I liked what was in the box. So I just tweaked just a little bit all of my cards, and then I'll show you 5 alternatives on top of the 3 alternatives that are my cards this month. Okay, so the first thing I do, of course, is I cover my my stamp set with packing tape so that I can see the images and I know right away what I'm missing, and it's much easier to read the sentiments. So let me show you what we're going to do. The first card I'm going to share with you is, well, I'm not going to do that at all. What do I want to do? Oh, I want to share with you, if you are one of my subscribers, you received an envelope, or you will be receiving an envelope like this from me before August, is it 2nd? Which is our party. Yes, August 2nd is our party. And inside here, you're going to have some bits and pieces. You're going to have a lot of pieces of vellum, because every card is going to require vellum this time out of the kit that I added. You are also going to get some embellishments to play with. And then you will get 2 complete sets to make cards, except for the white pieces. And then you'll also need some white cardstock for our last 3 cards that I'll show you what to do with a little bit later. So those are your bits and pieces. Okay, so each of our cards looks like this. And you will see that I just turned the card inside out, and then I folded it at 2 1/8, pressed it back, and then you'll see, do you see the vellum here? I added vellum to the back, and I added some little jewels or gems, and you'll be able to do that with your kit too. For every card that came in this kit, I've given you enough vellum to be able to create a Z-fold card. And they're all done exactly the same. Aren't those cool? I just love them. So you have some 2-inch vellum for this guy, and then some 2.5-inch vellum for these 2 guys. And you just trim it, glue it to the back, glue it on, and there you go. I just think those are stunning cards. So let's get to our alternative. Okay, so those are alternatives, but they're the regular kit, and I'm doing all 9 of my cards just like that, and you can too. All right, so then my first alternative card looks like this. So I stayed with kind of the Z-fold theme. So it looks like this. And for this card, you're going to need a piece of pumpkin, or is it called peach pie, that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 and at 2 1/8, and then it's folded back on its side. You also need a piece of white that is 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. And then I've given you some designer series paper. This is 3 by 5 1/4. That will go on the front like that. And then you have a smaller piece that is 3/4 of an inch by 3 inches for the inside. I've given you a flower from what group? What? Frames and Flowers, which is also where the paper is from. You will need a piece of Pretty in Pink that is 3/4 by 3 inches that is in there. And then you also have a Granny Apple Green cutout from the dies that coordinate with this set, and I've gone ahead and already stamped mine using Pretty Peacock. And then you got a piece of designer series paper that you can glue on a regular envelope. And then you also have some ribbon to tie a bow. So with all of that, you get this. And so basically I just glued the white piece on the inside. I added the 3-inch piece of paper down there. I glued the front piece of designer series paper only on that front fold piece. I glued the floral image, stamped Let's Celebrate You from one of the pieces in the kit, glued it on to the Pretty in Pink, added the bow with a glue dot, and then I bumped up my little flower with a dimensional. And that's the way you make card number 1 or 4, depend on how you're counting. Okay, and then this card I'm going to show you, but I'm also going to show you what I did wrong, and I won't make that mistake again, and neither will you. And that is I put glue behind this vellum. Shame, shame, shame. I should have just put glue right here. And so you can kind of see a line on there, and so yours won't look like that. So for this card, you are going to need a piece of Melon Mambo that is 6.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and it is scored at 2.25 inches, so that you've got this front flap. You also need a stylish shape die, and then you need 3 leaves from the cutouts from the extra kit. You need a piece of vellum, and I've given you a piece of vellum that is 2 by 5.25, and it has polka dots on it, and that'll go on your outside front. You have a piece of Melon Mambo for the envelope flap. You have a piece of cardstock that is 4 by 5.25 for the inside, and then you also have a white strip that is 2 by 5.25 for the very inside. So you're going to glue this piece down, and then you're going to glue your white piece on top of that, and then you're going to put glue just in the middle and lay this down. And then you're going to stamp off the Melon Mambo once, and then you're going to get that kind of lighter color in the background. And then I've used the Mossy Meadow with Friends Like You, Make Life Beautiful, and then I added my 3 leaves. I just glued them on. And then I added some gems that are in your kit, or use whatever gems you have. So that is alternative number 2 or 5. And then I'm going to show you the last 3 are Stamp and Ink, and a variety of techniques. So I love these cards. I used daubers on regular thick white cardstock. So you need thick white cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. Then you need a piece of regular cardstock white that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I used an aqua painter to paint right on the piece of basic white. And I also used Calypso Coral, Melon Mambo, and Daffodil Delight. I just put some paint, I just squeezed it like this, so you get some ink right here. And then I take my aqua painter and just squeeze some water into it, and then I start painting. So you can make it as light or as saturated with the ink color as you want. And you just paint onto the cardstock. And I used Mossy Meadow for the stems, and I did the same on all 3 cards. And what I did is I just kind of looked at this image, and I just kind of focused on kind of emulating that image to the right lower part, and then I just added some other ones. They're just background, and so you don't have to worry about it. When I was done with that, I ran it through the embossing machine, and I used the Eyelet 3D embossing folder, but you can use whatever embossing folder you have. And then I took my Stampin' Blends, and with the thick tip, the wide tip, I opened it up and I just clinked it like this so that the splatters would be on the paper, and you can probably see the splatters better on this one. Yes, you can. See the splatters right there? And then what I did for my flowers, my floral image, is I stamped the image on a piece of basic white using the gray granite, which is the color in the kit. And then I used colored pencils, the watercolor pencils from Stampin' Up. And I used Pumpkin Pie, I used Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight, and Old Olive. So I colored those in, and then once they were colored in, I took my water painter, aqua painter again, and just kind of added some water to it, and it just blends all the lines. So if you get some coloring lines, don't worry, they'll go away. And then when the water was still wet, I went back in and added a little bit of shading just in a couple of areas to highlight the color. And that's all I did for those cards. Glued it flat over the thick basic white, and I did dauber around the edges on the white before I glued it down. And then I added some dauber marks on the inside and dauber marks on the outside of a plain white envelope, and that is those cards. So in my club, you're going to need some Whisper White card. Why am I saying Whisper White tonight? I have no idea. You're going to need some basic white that is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. You're going to need a piece of regular basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then you're going to need a sentiment. And I happened to use the sentiment from Penciled Pear, but you can use the sentiments from this kit and just cut around them. And then I edged them with my daubers and bumped them up on dimensionals. And then for the flower, I explained how I did that, and I bumped it up on dimensionals as well. added some bling at the end, and there you go. So I hope you enjoy my alternatives to painted petals. I really enjoyed painting. Have a great night, and for my paper pumpkin peeps, I will see you August 2nd on our live Zoom